Hello. So the book I'll be talking about today is called Global Environmental Politics. It's a collection of essays put together by two professors at American University at the Global Environmental Politics program there. And it's a pretty alarming grouping of essays by prominent figures in the environmental movement, the current one, um, in all different areas. But basically, the idea is that the biggest conflict, the biggest challenge for the 21st century right now in the environmental movement is to reconcile the difference between unique individuals living their lives and individuals as being part of society, and that especially is going to be seen through population growth and um, poorer nations rising in wealth, and what's going to happen through that. But essentially, it's reconciling this difference, and they look at it from all different angles from a collection of amazing authors. This was put out in 2014, so it's really new, and it's at the forefront of the new environmental movement, which is really exciting. So it's broken down to sections. The first section um, is really about just acknowledging the state of how things are. So it's going to be a little bit frightening to look at, but there is also some hope in there, I think, from what I've read so far. So the first section is really going to look um, at these things, and the main things as an introduction to the first section are that these environmental dangers that we're facing they're not actually inevitable to human life on Earth. This isn't something that is necessary or a consequence necessarily of humans living on Earth. There are ways for us to live sustainably on the Earth, um, but really their point is that these things arise out of a certain way of thinking and acting, um, through kind of played out through an understanding of our political and economic and cultural systems. So their approach is to change the big overarching system. That's the way they approach it. Um, the way that they introduce this first section is by saying that there are really three sources along which we can kind of gauge our ecological footprint, and this seems to be in the wider discussion as well, but they call them sources, sinks, and sites, right? So every organism, I mean, and the way that life works is that to consume energy, you take it from somewhere else, and then you give off energy um, afterwards, and so sources are really where we get our energy from. Sites are where we store it afterwards, so like in the air, water, atmosphere, whatever that may be. Um, and then sites are kind of these special places to ecologists as well as the world where there's still a high amount of biodiversity, really great places that are left in the world that we care about. So we can kind of gauge our footprint along these three lines: how we use materials, how we dispose of them, and how we treat places. So I'll start by breaking down each chapter, and hopefully that will make things a little bit more clear, for starting with the current state of the world ecologically.